Well, it's August 6th. I'm a little late for my weekly thing, but I don't even know if I can say I do it weekly anymore. Here we go. The herbs are still doing well. The nasturtiums still pretty, no flowers. The spinach that I've pulled out of here after I let it go to seed, some of the seed fell in there, and it has already started coming up for the fall garden. So we should have some spinach in here for the fall. These are not parsley, they are celery. I was able to actually grow celery here, which Gardner Scott says is hard. So these wicking beds really are something. They managed to grow celery when a master gardener struggles. So that made me feel good seeing that. If you look back there in the back, one of my okra pods is growing. Ooh, geez, there it is growing. So give that a couple of days and it'll be ready to harvest. That'll be my first okra. But they're all growing, so we should start being able to have some fried okra for supper here pretty soon. Stark Brothers replaced a couple of my dead blueberries, gave me credit for the other two. This is one of the ones that didn't make it before, and it's already getting rust on it. They're Elliott's. They don't like it here. But this Chandler also has rust on it, and he seems okay, so I don't know. This is a Herbert. It's not doing well. And the other one down there at the end, my pride and joy that died, was a Herbert. So if this makes it until next year, I'll take some cuttings and root them and propagate it and have more Herbert that way. Another Elliott, another Chandler, the dead Herbert. The peppers, you can see you can see the flowers coming on. There's not enough growing season left, though. I don't know if I'm going to get any. The cucumbers finally started to take off. There's a bee going after some pollen. Hello, little bee. Alana's squash plant is definitely growing. It's going to crowd out the cucumbers. That's okay. I don't care. Peppers. More flowers. I don't know if there's enough growing season to get any. We've been getting tomatoes. That cluster down there is starting to get ready. So we've been harvesting tomatoes, more peppers. The basil, look how big those basil leaves are. The cherry tomatoes started growing over the fence. So I came by and topped them. You can see right there, pinched off the growing tip, so they won't grow taller. But any suckers on them will now start to grow as if they're the new tops, and the plant should bush out. So we ideally will be getting a lot more fruit for what's essentially pruning, pulling the tip off. The trellis for the peas is missing. I'll show you where that went here in a little bit. I left the pea plants to compost in place. This one is still planted because it has a pod on it. I'm going to let that mature and take those peas for seed next year. I've had a few Romas get ready down there at the bottom. I've pulled 3 or 4 of them. More peppers, more cherry tomatoes. I topped all of these growing tips because this thing just wants to grow. This one is a beast. More peppers. They're not going to do anything. There's definitely not enough time this year for those to do anything. This beefsteak, I don't like this variety. It doesn't get tall. It doesn't get tall enough for me. I'm not happy with it. It is almost time to pull the protective hardware cloth off of these carrots. They're starting to touch it. So I'm going to pull it off here pretty quickly. These sweet peppers have really taken off. I think we will get some of those. These carrots are growing. They're 3 weeks older than those. They're doing a great job. We'll be able to harvest some here before too long. What do you say, September? Harvest? No, it's in August. We can harvest those really soon. Exciting. These beefsteaks are the ones I did from seed indoors before the season started. I don't know what variety they are. Clearly they're a different one than that. I have the packet, I just can't remember. But I like them a lot better. They started out here way late because I thought they were going to die, so I wasn't going to use them. I didn't have space for them, and then all of a sudden things didn't work out the way I wanted to, and I just transplanted them out here. So I have lots of tomatoes, and there's production on there. Fruit has set, so we're just waiting on it to mature and ripen. San Marzano's here. We've still got fruit growing, nothing ripe yet. Zucchini's very, very, very happy. It's really taking over. The pole beans are not happy. Can't say I blame them. They're being choked out. I'm getting inundated with flies. I don't know what's bringing the flies in here, but they're terrible. The lettuce down there, we didn't even like it. So we have it. It's ready to harvest, but we don't like it. So I'm never planting that variety again. It was a bib lettuce, and we didn't like it. No, that's not bib. I can't remember what that is. I've got the packet inside, though. We didn't like the bib either, but that's not what that is. Raspberry. This is the only cane that survived that we got bare root. The ones that came in the gallon-sized pots are huge. I put up the first row of trellis wire. You're going to see the tutorials online about how to build a wire fence tell you use 16 to 18 gauge wire. I used 12, and let me tell you, 16 to 18 is enough. This was really hard to work with. I have 2 more rows to do, but it took me forever to get 1 row done. So just do what the smart people say. Don't listen to me on that one. Just do the 18 or 16 gauge. It's enough. All the raspberries are coming in. I got more blackberries because that one plant had died. They said they don't ship out just one, they ship out the entire 3-pack, so I have extra blackberries in here now. Kind of ruined my spacing, but more fruit. I don't know. I'm happy with that. If they start crowding each other out, I'll cut them out. But until they do, more fruit. I like it. Lots and lots and lots of blackberries. The apple trees, I'm going to have to get back here and water these more often. I thought that all these wood chips would hold enough water. They're not. And I discovered that today because I started planting for my fall garden here. So I dug back to ground level beneath all these wood chips, and you can see how thickly they were laid in there. But it was dry as a bone. I had to water when I put the seeds in. I don't like that. I didn't want to have to water, but I guess I'm going to have to. That means running a hose around here. I'm going to have them put in a hose spigot over here for me. If we can pull that off. We've got the basement. I'm sure we can do it. But other apple tree here. Oh, that's broccoli down in that trench. I was going to do another trench with Swiss chard, but trust me, that's a lot of work, digging all that out. And I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired. So now we get over here to the rest of the fall garden. The watermelon was never going to do anything. I finally had to give up on it, make a decision. Do I want to do something that will produce, or keep trying to get something to produce that won't probably even ripen before the first frost hits? And I decided we'd like to eat this winter out of our garden instead of maybe have a unripe watermelon in late September. So I yanked it out. And down here I have 3 types of kale. This is curly and red Russian here in this middle bed, and lacinato in this bed. I think that's the dino kale. I'll have to look that up. I think that's dino kale. Now here's carrots that went in 3 or 4 weeks ago. They've all come up. I sowed on the 3rd, so 3 days ago, another row of carrots down here, and I moved that trellis for the peas were on over there, moved it over here And then I planted peas down at the base of that trellis there. And then here in the front is spinach. I moved, the potato plants were over there. I moved them over here. And my trees, my citrus trees, were over here. But I've moved them off into the rocks so that I could have space for my fall garden. This is not the most efficient system, but it's the best I could do this year. Next year, I expect to have livestock watering tanks, stock tanks, here, and 2 more over there, and over where the water hose is. And that should give me plenty of fall garden real estate so that I don't have to mess with this, I think. We'll have to see. The raised beds might not do well over the winter. I'm not sure. I might still have to do this. But I definitely won't have these trellises where they are. And the pumpkin plant won't be there either. It'll be somewhere else, further back. But anyway, things are coming along. The salad greens and the green stalk are doing well. I've been putting strawberries in here as my plants over in the wicking bed produce daughters. I've been rooting them and then transplanting them over here. But this lettuce is just insane. And the tomatoes I put in here for Brandy to see if I could save them for her. She never came for them. So I guess we've got tomato vines in there that probably aren't going to amount to much because we don't have much growing season left. No wonder she didn't come. That's okay. Anyway, herbs are growing. Lettuce is growing. Rachel wants me to plant her lavender for her. I'll have to get that done. But look at these black-eyed Susans. Aren't these insane? Here's my zinnia getting shaded out by black-eyed Susans. Unbelievable. Anyway, it was a busy day in the garden. Hope you guys are doing well.